What is up, YouTube? This is AVAULT here, back again today with you guys, another new Speed Duel deck profile, and I'm really excited to showcase you guys this very new one right here. Is the Spell Counters deck profile right here today, and with the release of Scars of Battle and Dark Red Enchanter inside the set, I just gotta know I had to make a deck profile for you guys with that one, because it's just a really cool card, really cool concept. It's a very unique deck, I have to say, or a unique archetype right now in the Speed Duel, because there's so many different various ways you can play and to really build your deck recipe around it. And you know, it's very fine minor details that every player would have personal preferences and choices that really fits a whole different gameplay to really approach this type of deck. And you know, today here is my version of it, so I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, you know, before we get right into it, we're gonna do featuring a very new sleeve that we got right here. We got Endymion, the Master of Magic, which was a new card or revamp of Endymion. He is the Master of Spell Counters, just so you guys know. And this came out along with the Structure Deck Reloaded series for the Spellcasters command. That was the Reloaded version recently, a couple months ago, and it's just really cool, really neat. So it just makes total sense to have this guy at the back, although this card is not even available in Speed Duels, but you know, they're Spell Counters, so gotta go with that one. So yeah, really cool, really like his design, and overall you can see the Spell Counters logos all over it, and he is a master indeed right here. So yeah, first of all, as always with our skill card, we are playing It's My Lucky Day with this one. And for you guys who don't know what It's My Lucky Day does, you basically pay 1,000 life points whenever you would use a card effect that requires you to roll a dice or flip a coin, and you pay that 1,000 life points and you get to decide that result. And I'm very sure a lot of you guys are very familiar with this, with the Dice Spoon combo in here. So just so you guys know, a little quick spoiler ahead, we are playing Dice Spoon and Time Wizard in this deck right here to really utilize this skill, and it just works really well. Some of you might want to go with the staple and simple approach. You will play the Yami Yugi skill, just the Yami field spell to boost up your spellcasters or destiny draw, the very typical standard. But I think this works the best with the Joey Wheeler skill right here. So with that being said, moving into our very first monsters, we have 2 Dark Red Enchanters. I don't play 3 because it's kind of bricky when you go into 3, so 2 is a really good amount. And what it basically does, if this card is normal summoned, you place 2 spell counters on it. It gains 300 attack for each spell counter, and every time a spell card is activated, you can place 1 more spell counter on this card. And very simple, you remove 2 spell counters and basically discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand, which can get very obnoxious and very difficult to play against and very hard for your opponent to deal with. And you can actually really get really good advantage from there by, you know, discarding cards off from them, and so they can't pull off their combos and their next plays during the next turn. And it's got 1700 beater as a default, and quite a good defense, 2200, which is really good. So you know, Kunai with Chain and Windstorms are not always the best to go against this one right here. And of course, we are playing 3 Legion, the Fiend Jesters right here. Very simple effect, where you know, during your main phase you contribute summon 1 spellcaster monster in attack position in addition to your normal summon. So I play 3 right here just to basically the very simple combo to bring out Dark Red Enchanter, basically immediately, super fast, really good. So I actually don't play any normal spellcaster monsters in this deck whatsoever, because the whole sole purpose of Legion the Fiend Jester is to really just turbo out Dark Red Enchanter. Some of you might personally, with personal preference, might take away 1 and switch it off for a Rogue Doll instead. That's totally up to you, but I just prefer this because I really want to see this card as soon as possible in my hand. But you know, that's really the gist of using this card. That's all. You don't really utilize the second effect in my version. Next, moving into more of the spell counters, we are playing 3 Apprentice Magicians right here. And you know, very typical standard. If this card is summoned and target 1 face-up card on the field, and you can place a spell counter on, obviously you would choose Dark Red Enchanter for the most case, and If this card is destroyed by battle, you can special summon one level 2 or lower spellcaster monster from your deck in face down position. So usually you can bring itself back. So you have it set, and if your opponent destroys it, and then you can bring another one to stall for a longer turn, and then bringing in our next monsters, 2 Crystal Seers right here. Really good card to combo off with Apprentice Magician, and to also allowing to excavate the top 2 cards of your deck and add one to your hand, which is a really good plus. And then you put the other one into the bottom of your deck. So it's really neat. We've still got some more monsters. One more we are playing, as I mentioned earlier, we are playing one Time Wizard right here. Time Wizard also works really well with Apprentice Magician during the clutch points where you really need it and you really need to nuke your opponent's field. You can basically bring this out with Apprentice Magician as face down. When your opponent ends their turn, the next turn you flip it up and basically you combo it with It's My Lucky Day and just nuke your opponent's side of the field completely, which is a really deadly and very powerful combo in my opinion. Last but not least, we're playing actually one Magician of Faith. We do play fair amount of spell cards that we need to, be really good if we can recycle them here and there to really help Dark Red Enchanter to gain more spell counters. So, just one of it is just pretty neat as well during some clutch situations. That's sort of like a tech card. That rounds up with the monsters. There are quite a lot of monsters because, you play Apprentice Magician and Legion Fiend Jesters, and, you utilize a lot of these monsters to basically bring out Dark Red Enchanter overall. So now moving into our spells, of course, since we're playing It's My Lucky Day, 2 Dice Spoons right here. Very self-explanatory. You pop 2 spells and trap cards your opponent controls for the most case, and yeah. And it also gives Dark Red Enchanter an extra counter. Next, we're playing 2 Spell Power Grasps. Some of you might also argue that you might want to play 3 instead. I personally feel like 2 is the perfect amount number, especially you only have 2 Dark Red Enchanters. Playing one extra one can be very bricky sometimes, and you don't want to see this card in your hand ever until you actually have Dark Red Enchanter out in the field, because with this card comboing with Spell Power Grasp with Dark Red Enchanter, it can really actually boost up Dark Red Enchanter very powerfully. But it's not something a core card that you really desperately need all the time overall. Last but not least, we're playing one Wonder Wand. Just also a really good tech card right here to boost up any of your spellcaster monsters. By 500, you can even combo again with Apprentice Magician by stalling the time, by stalling your monsters and keep bringing your monsters out. And then next turn, when you flip one of your spellcaster monsters face up, equip it with Wonder Wand, and then just tribute it, and then just draw 2 cards, which is really neat. So that basically rounds up for the spells. And just a quick mention, this is probably why you want to play at least 1 Magician of Faith so that you can get these cards back from your graveyard to your hand. And speaking of replenishing the resources, we are definitely playing 1 Jar of Avarice. I only play 1 and 1 only because you don't really want to draw into this card in the early game. Honestly, it's a very difficult card to deal with when you already have it in the first turn, in your very first turn. This card you really prefer to see during the mid to late game of the duel for most of the cases. So just 1 is just enough. Last but not least, we're playing 2 Windstorms, just for defense purposes, and that just rounds up for the traps. So now moving on to our side deck, we have 6 cards. We're playing 2 Warrior Eliminations because, Warrior types are really powerful still nowadays with Amazonas and Gearfrieds and Blade Knight control decks out there. So Warrior Elimination is still a really good card. Another option is to play Dust Tornadoes. You would probably swap these in with Dice Spoons for your Dice Spoons if you're against like a matchup that doesn't really require for you to heavily remove their back row for the most part. And Dust Tornado, you don't have to pay your life points and you don't have to go through the risks to destroy your opponent's spell and trap cards. Another good substitute instead of Dust Tornado is Night Beam. You can play 2 Night Beams, which also works very well with Dark Red Enchanter because it gives it another spell counter right there. So up to your personal preferences. Last but not least, we are obviously, of course, playing 2 more Ready for Intercepting. Once again, going against other warrior type decks and spellcaster decks as well. Really good against Gravekeepers and what else? Relinquished, possibly Dark Magician decks, and then also really good once again against Warriors, which are Amazonas and Gearfrieds and Blade Knights right there. That basically rounds off the entire deck profile, guys. I hope you guys enjoy it, and you know, if you guys enjoy the deck profile, be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe to stay tuned for more awesome speed through content. Also, if you guys haven't seen the match 2 of this spell counter deck in action yet, be sure to watch that video and check it out how cool this deck can really run as well. So, you know, really nice video, really have fun with those playtesting videos for you guys, so be sure to watch that. You know, and also one more question once again for you guys, you know, trying to get more opinions and insights, and just want to, you know, understand what you guys would really like. Do you guys still prefer the deck profile being released first, or do you guys prefer the match duel video being released first and then having the other one released a day or two right after, back to back? And you know, so which ones give you guys more excitement and makes it more fulfilled for you guys to be worth it to watch the channel? So, you know, I would really appreciate your comments and your opinions, so be sure to post them down below and let me know what you guys like the most. I've been getting very mixed feedback here and there. Some of you do like the match duels first, and then some like the deck profiles first, so I want to hear what more of you guys have to say, so be sure to comment down below. Once again, I really appreciate your time and your feedback. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you guys have a great day, great night wherever you are, and this is AVAULT signing